All right guys, in this video, I'm learning how to set up and tune my own bow.
Now how do we make the adjustments?
So now we're gonna make our adjustments, yep. Most bows tune about an 1/8 knock high.
About maxed out there, boys and girls.
Can I just tell you how satisfying that is? Okay, what are we gonna do first? Set it up, get all the components put on.
Yep, first we gotta get everything put on it.
Start to finish, I'm gonna learn how to set up my own bow.
So you're gonna get your rest.
Okay, I got that.
And we're gonna put it on.
Got the rest, got the sight here. Let's go ahead and put these on. So Lance, we call this thing the burger hole, yeah?
Yeah, so these are built to go on directly on the riser. Right, so you're gonna use your Allen wrenches here because you're gonna have to loosen this. Right, and that clamps onto your...
Oh, so, oh, like that? Oh, yep. I see.
So you need to go loose.
Looser. More loose. I mean, I think it's a really good idea to set up your own bow, at least have an idea of it. That way something falls off or goes awry in the field, you kind of know how it's set up. Like,
there's basics that everybody should know as far as like making sure that your rest is level, how to do a D-loop, how to tie in a peep. When I worked at Sportsman's Warehouse, we'd get people to come in that they make portable bow presses, which I like the idea of, but again, I would ask people, do you carry extra strings with you? Do you know how to put them on? Do you know how to tune? And most 90% of people were like, well, no. I'm like, then it's not worth buying a portable bow press if you don't know how to do that stuff or you don't carry the equipment to do it with, right? But basic stuff, a D-loop, tying in a peep if something happens, that's stuff that is very easily done. When you get into tuning and restringing, you can learn that stuff. It takes a lot more time and practice and understanding. The reason we want to leave that off is because we still may have to make some adjustments. Sure. And then we'll put that on. But we want to put the D-loop on first. So now we're gonna do the D-loop. Okay, I'm gonna show you this. Easiest way to do these is you're gonna wanna melt one end so that it's got a mushroom on there. And then we're gonna fold this in half. Like that.
Where am I lining it up though?
Right now we're just gonna get it on and then we'll worry about the center shot. So make a loop.
Melt it first.
Lay that on and then just wrap this around through that hole and then this one through that hole. And then we're gonna snug it up tight. Okay. Make sure that this...
Wait, I didn't even know what you just did.
We're gonna do the top piece first and I'll explain why. Okay. But when we do this, we're gonna lay this short end on the top like that, okay? And then we're just gonna hold it against the string, and then all you're gonna do is wrap this through the hole.
Okay, so literally I'm gonna take it like this. Does it matter how big it is? Kind of?
No, because we'll tighten it.
Okay. Wrap that through the hole?
Yep. And now take that bottom piece and do the same thing.
Through that same hole?
Yep, same hole.
Okay.
Now pull tight. Okay.
Hold on.
And this, yep. So do it down here on the serving.
Okay, down here on the serving.
Down, 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 down. About where you're gonna put your deep. Okay, now pull that tight.
Gotcha.
Keep tying up. So the reason you melt that end is so that it has something to grab against, so it doesn't slip through. Yep.
Okay. That's actually pretty easy.
Okay, so make sure, hang on. So what we're gonna do, get this tight first.
Nice and tight, burn it?
Nope, not yet. So now, this is where we're gonna start to get our center shot done, okay? So, reason we leave things loose because we still wanna make adjustments, right? So, we've got a couple tools here. Okay. You've got your string level. So this just clamps onto the string, right? So that you can adjust and make sure that you're perfectly level. And then this one goes on to the arrow. There's level right there. Okay. Okay. So now, generally what I've known, most bows tune about an 1/8 knock high. So that's generally where I start.
So that's where that's at right now.
But you got to make sure that you're level with your burger hole. So right here, we're a little bit low. Raise that up just a touch.
So I'm raising this.
So nope, we're gonna raise so if you get level with your arrow and look through that burger hole.
It's about middle of the burger hole.
It is, dude. We can start there.
Okay. So now what?
Now
what if it wasn't?
If it wasn't, we would raise the rest, raise the D-loop, or lower, either way to make sure that it's centered.
So
and that
we
your
would
arrow's
potentially
level.
need to raise that rest to bring it up to burger hole.
Correct.
Because you want that arrow running through the middle of the burger hole.
Yes.
Okay.
Arrow running in the middle of the burger hole. You said most of these bows tune about with that bubble is shade at 1/8.
Yep.
Okay. Now I'm going to
But again, this is just a starting point.
Yeah, this is a starting point.
All bows could be different. You've still got to mess with your cam timing, et cetera, et cetera. But this is just your starting point.
Okay. So now
that we're level, let's tighten this rest.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to finish the D-loop. Now this one's a little bit harder because as you do this, the first one, you can make the loop, wrap both of them through. This one, you kind of have to, on the top, start on this side of the string. On the bottom, we're going to go on the other side of the string. Make your loop, go through it, and then from here, what I say is you chase your string back around. So you're going to come back around and see how it makes that loop there.
And
does that make sense?
yeah, is that too big?
Well, what we'll do is when I get done is we'll tighten that down.
I see. Okay.
And get it, I usually get it about even with the
then you can
knock.
stretch that out.
Because you'll pull that, we'll tighten that back out. So, but always give yourself a little bit extra room, extra material, because you can always cut that off.
So,
or same loop.
So down, up through, down, back through the bottom.
Yep.
Okay, I'm doing it again, dude. You learn things through repetition, so I'm gonna go one more time.
Yeah.
Down, up through, chase it down again, back around, and back through the bottom loop.
There you go.
Okay. And then I could always give that more by kind of going like that, because you want that to be a little tighter because that's going to stretch some. I feel like that should be a little even tighter than that. Oh, I feel like you could give that a good stretch.
So that's another reason why when you want to do this top one first, get your level set, right? And tighten that so that there's less slack to come out.
That sucker's going to stretch right there.
So once you've done this a couple times, right, is you can do it. When I get it done, I'll cinch it right up like that.
Oh, you get it
right?
nice and tight?
And then you just come right through there like that.
Gotcha. And then you can grab enough stretch in there.
So
to stretch
yeah,
that
so what we're gonna do is you want to give yourself a little bit of room. So, and depending on the release that you're using, some have bigger jaws than others. You've got to understand what your equipment is to know how much room to give yourself. But
You don't want to be up next to you.
don't want to be up
right
there. Yep, about right there. Because again, we're gonna take some, when we melt this end, it'll take up some slack as well.
Sure.
Right? So what I like to do is kind of turn that off to the side so you're not melting everything else. So the other thing I like to do is melt it, let me see that, and then press that against the end so that it flattens it out.
Okay.
We've got pliers, right? So you want to leave your D-loop or your string, I'm just going to show you. But there's also, these pliers are specific to where you can pull this out and put those in there and then just stretch it like that. Does that make sense? So you can do it either way. Get your fingers right up in there and pull. You got to get this tight. Don't be a sissy about it.
Yes, sir.
So once you get that, then you can pull this out. And then these fit right inside there.
Oh.
And that'll stretch that, tighten that right up.
Perfect. Did you have it? I'm doing it again. Okay. I mean, I feel pretty good about that.
So a limb-driven rest is going to be down, and your cable will attach to your limb, but it'll be tight. As you draw the bow, the limb compresses, which allows slack, which allows the rest to come up.
Okay.
So this works complete opposite.
Where at do you want to put it?
So these are nice because you can tie it right in, right by where that serving goes.
Okay. What kind of knot are we doing?
We're not.
What type
Well,
of tie?
There's two ways to do it. One, you can split the cable and just put it in, or these come with this cable clamp,
Oh, that's kind of cool.
right?
Yeah.
So these are pretty easy. So the way these work is there's 2 slots.
Right there, okay.
One right there, one right there. One for the cable, one for the string. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So the way these will go on, your string goes in front and the cable in the back, and it just clamps on like that.
Oh, really?
Okay?
Okay.
But when you put it on, again, you've got to make sure you don't want to crank it down because we still have to make adjustments for the draw length.
Okay.
Make sense? So,
Okay.
give you that. There's that.
All right, so there's slots here, one for the cable, one for the string. Go ahead here at the serving level.
Okay, so just get it to where it's snug.
Okay.
So when you do this, you're going to want some slack in it, right? Because depending on your draw length, if the further back you go, the more string it needs to come down. Make sense? So now what we're going to do, prior to this, you need to make sure that your draw length is set specific to you, your poundage is set before we do any of this, right? I tell people this all the time. Whenever you draw your bow, always put an arrow on, regardless.
100%,
right?
always.
Your D-loop can fail, your release may not lock properly. If you don't have an arrow on, you just dry fired your bow, okay? Put an arrow on it, stand in front of a target, even if it's a little block, point straight at it so that if something does happen, you're not dry firing your bow and ruining your investment and ruining your hunt coming up.
Never draw your bow without an arrow in there.
And never let your friends pull your bow back either.
Ever.
Arrow's in perfect condition.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so now we're gonna come over here and stand in front of the target.
Are we shooting actually through paper?
No, we're just drawing the bow. We've got to get this adjusted to the right tension so that your release comes up and drops properly.
Okay.
Makes sense? So draw slow. We're gonna watch this string. Okay, so these rests have timing marks on them. That when that is all the way back, those should line up. So it's a little.
Okay, shoot.
Go ahead and shoot. Okay, so it released, but we want it just a little tighter. We're gonna tighten that down.
I was just gonna say, this is the first time ever shooting the RS. The back wall is rock solid on that thing. My guy's having a hard time bringing it off.
Yeah. Okay, grab your arrow, try it again.
So we're gonna show you how your rest is gonna pop up or function if your rest string is too loose. So we're gonna go ahead and draw it again.
All right, so as you can see, he's at full draw and it's not completely all the way up. So that tells us we need to tighten that string for his draw length.
Now we're just gonna shoot it just so you guys can have an idea of how this rest will function if this rest string is too tight.
So pull back slow because with it being tight, it's gonna come to full draw. It'll be locked up way before you're at full draw.
Here we go.
Okay,
nice and slow. Here's the draw.
Okay, hold up.
Oh, I couldn't even draw it.
So did you see how?
Yeah.
So what happens is that comes to, the rest comes to full position way before you're at full draw. Now what happens is, if you continue to draw, that's gonna pull on your cable, which is gonna make your cams out of time.
Okay.
Right, because it's tight.
Sure.
It's locked onto that cable. You're still drawing, but this cable is tight.
So let's go back to the sweet spot.
Let's go back to the sweet spot. So
What are you looking for when you're eyeballing the sweet spot on this cable-driven rest? Just a little bit of slack?
When you're at full draw, you want it to be tight. And again, this rest, so if you look right here, see how it's locked up, but those timing marks are not on. When you're at full draw,
The timing marks will be on.
timing marks should be lined up.
Okay, let that down.
So again, we're gonna make sure when you get to full draw, make sure our timing marks. Okay, so look at our timing marks. We're not quite there, so we let down real slow. We need to tighten it just a touch more.
I guess this is how you're tuning your rest, right? Because you're getting timing on your rest, so you're tuning your rest right now.
Kind of.
Yeah, okay.
Because even once we shoot through the paper, we still may need to make some adjustments.
Sure.
So this this is just initial setup.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we look, our timing marks are lined up.
Go ahead and shoot.
And we're good to go.
All right, so let's go ahead and shoot it through paper.
All right, paper tuning is a whole nother video on its own, but we're just gonna cover some basics. You can build your own paper tuner just like I've done. Buy some PVC pipe and a roll of paper from local hardware store. Generally, you wanna be 8 to 10 feet from your target. Again, hold your bow steady as you can. Make sure you're not torquing the bow. And once we shoot through them, we'll see what the paper looks like and go from there. So what that's telling us is this is where your point hit and that's where your fletchings hit.
Okay.
Which means that is knock low.
Knock low.
We would need to check timing on the cams first because that could be a cam timing issue. And you want to make sure your cams are timed perfectly first, right?
Meaning when you're drawing the bow back, they both hit at the same time.
Hit at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
When you're drawing it, can you feel any difference or do they feel like they're locking in the same?
I wasn't really paying attention. I was kind of like more like listening at the draw cycle. So I don't know. We'll shoot another one?
Yeah. Okay, so this time when you draw it, try to pay attention to the cams.
Both cams are hitting.
Feel it. If
same
not, that's what the press is for.
Here we go.
Real slow.
Really paying attention here. That seemed like it hit at the same time. Knock
Okay,
low.
so we got the same.
So that's good. That means my grip is consistent. It's knock low.
Yep.
Now how do we make the adjustment?
So now we're gonna make our adjustments, yep. Generally, when you're paper tuning, you chase your point. So we're gonna move the rest up just a little bit, okay? Which means we gotta take this off, adjust that. But as we do this, we're gonna shoot it again, and if it gets worse, then we're gonna go the other way.
So bring the unit up.
Yep. So then here's your micro adjust. So you see on the top where up is gonna go counterclockwise.
Yeah. See that?
Yeah.
Couple extra clicks for good measure.
Now that we've moved the rest up, that's gonna shorten your cable,
So we
right?
might need to make adjustment.
So we may
there.
need to adjust the timing on the rest.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So we might need to bring this up again. Give it a little more.
Just give it a little extra.
All right, so now I'm gonna pay attention to the timing. When the two cams hit the back wall, make sure that rest flips up. And
Make sure your timing marks on the rest. Yep.
Yeah, timing marks on the rest. Okay, here we go. Came up a little early, didn't it? Still knock low. Not as bad as it was.
Well, for some reason, the cord clamp is not clamping. And so we are going to just put the rest cable through the bow cable. But to do that, we've got to have the press.
Shout out to Midway USA for the bow press. Thanks.
Okay, so we're gonna just split this cable here. Yeah.
We can't really adjust it like this very good, can you?
Yeah, this is actually a lot easier.
Oh, is it? Oh, because it'll stay?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's way easier. I'm glad we're having to do all this. I think we should pull that tighter though.
I think leave it for now because as you pull, it'll loosen the first couple times.
And then it'll
if
tell
it's
you
too
where it's supposed to
tight.
go.
Yeah.
So this is like an automatic.
You don't have to sit and fiddle with
Yeah.
a screw adjustment. Yeah. Okay, hang on, you're not tight. Hold it.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Still knock low, dude.
Okay.
So we're not exactly sure why him and I are both shooting knock low. So we're gonna double check timing.
Okay, start cranking it. Okay, so we're looking for these points right here and on the bottom. See how the bottom is touching right there and the top there's a gap right here?
Oh yeah.
So your cams are out of time just a touch.
Yeah.
So what we got to do is
A string twist?
this string is, because it needs to be lengthened, so we're going to take a twist out just a touch of that top.
Because this one was hitting quicker, right?
The bottom one
Yeah.
was, yeah. So we're going to find which way our twist. Just do that. See, just that little bit is something that you can't feel when you're doing it with just pulling it back yourself.
Bro, top hits a little quicker.
Okay, so we just need to do a half a twist then.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to make sure you. So we just want to go half a twist.
Okay.
And then make sure you bend that to go with. Half twists are sometimes hard because of the cable, depending on which way it goes.
Boom. Timing on point. Yes.
Yeah, it's spot on.
All right, let's see if that makes a difference in the knock low chair.
Still the same. That's.
So now that we adjusted the cams, perhaps now we need to move the micro adjust down. Trial and error, here we go.
Sometimes like this, you make adjustments and nothing happens. So you got to figure out what the problem is.
Better, way better.
Yeah. Let's move it down just a little more.
Okay, we'll go down. No, the cable needs to go down too, right? Tighten it.
Yeah, just pull it through a little bit.
We might just have it here.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We'll
Here
see.
we go. It's a little better too, isn't it?
A little better. So now next one, we're going to make 2 adjustments. We're going to go down still with the rest, and then we're going to move it right.
So we're knock right and low still. So let's go down. A couple clicks still. Now we're going to take this one. We're going to move it right. Correct? Try that. So we just made that adjustment once again. Let's go ahead and shoot it. See if that did the trick. Fresh new paper. Woohoo!
We're getting there. Still not perfect. You can see the points are just a touch high.
So we need to go
down just
down just a hair.
Yeah.
But we're good left to right now.
Yeah, left to right's a lot better.
Yes. Yes. Finally. 2 hours later.
I mean, you can see how critical, right? That just that half a twist on the string, what that did. Because before all the adjustments we made, nothing really changed.
So we're still what? High?
Go
So we need to go down.
down just like 2 or 3 clicks. That's all I would do.
There. Here's the money one right here. Dude.
There it is.
Can I just tell you how satisfying that is to be able to tune this myself and shoot a bullet hole? Like,
Well,
obviously I wouldn't be
especially-
able to do it without you, so thank you. But like,
especially after the frustration of
yeah, that was freaking
making
awesome.
adjustments, not knowing, and then we only did a half a twist on the string to get the cables. And once we got the cams timed, which we should have done first, but
Yeah, we probably should have done that. So why did we add half a twist to the top? Because it was slower than the bottom. That's why we added the half a twist to the top and not the bottom, right?
So if the string is longer, right? Well, it was actually
it was
shorter.
longer here, so it was slower here.
Yes.
It was hitting slower. So that's why we added half a twist to speed it up so that it would hit.
So it was actually shorter, which made this one touch faster.
This one was shorter.
You have to think of these because this cable wraps around. So if it's shorter, it doesn't come around as far,
Gotcha.
right? So we added half a twist so that it came around the same
gave it
time.
length.
We gave it length.
Okay.
Yep.
Dude, all right, let's tie a peep in. Well,
Put the side
put a
on.
peep in.
Put a peep in.
So we're gonna try this peep that doesn't require serving and see how it holds up. Traditionally, that's not what I've used in the past. I've used a Hamsky Raptor, like that's in the Lift X right there. But we're gonna try this and see if we can figure this guy out. So back in the press we go.
Because again, we gotta put this in. Gotta have you draw it back.
Yeah,
make sure
sure.
that's comfortable. It may twist on us depending on how the string.
So you're just trying to take the threads right there and split them in the middle?
Split them in the middle. Get as even as you can.
Are you counting threads at this point or no?
I am not.
You're just kind of guessing.
Just guess, yeah. So the way this works is those wrap around like that. This one comes around the top like that.
But should this slide up and down on you? How do you move this up and down?
It's not supposed to under tension, right? So when you let the bow out of the press, the idea is that because it's wrapped around, it's not going to move. So you don't need to tie it in. But to adjust it, we're going to have to put it in the press so that it releases the tension of the string.
So it will move. I just moved it there. Watch this.
But once you take it out of the press, it won't move.
Okay. All right, here's the thing. We can't see where the peep needs to be until we figure out what the heck we're looking at, so we need to install the sight first. So this peep, because it's got a 1/2 inch, I don't know what these vertical things here, but it's
Legs.
whatever. We're limited on what we can do here. So we got the 3-pin vert. Get it in the old bridge lock, huh? Let's try that, boys. That way I know what I'm looking through when I draw my bow. Yeah, it's too freaking low.
That's good. So I'll just slide that up.
Bad out of adjustment there. What would you do?
Well, it depends on how the string lays. See how it wants to twist on you already? Is just take it out and let's take it out and put it in like this. Because the string naturally wants to lay that way anyways.
Right.
It's kind of a pain to get in there, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but...
Did you get it? Mm-hmm. So now we gotta go all the way up.
Yep, push it up all the way. Yeah, I don't mind this peep. Just know it's not what the pros do, but...
Not everybody's a pro.
Not everyone's a pro.
So when you're doing your press, always keep pressure on that to make sure everything stays in the track.
Okay. I mean, that'll work. I think we can get a little bit more out of it. About maxed out there, boys and girls. See if we can make this work. Gosh, it's kind of fun. Well, guys, leave me in the comments all the things that I did wrong. Actually, leave in the comments all the things he did wrong.
Yeah.
And he was trying to teach me, so it's like you couldn't. We did a few things out of order, but whatever. We still got to tie on this cable though too.
Again, goes back to trial and error.
This is how you learn. You make a lot of mistakes. You do things on your own, and eventually you learn.
See, I've set up a lot of bows and I still make mistakes, so I'm okay with it.
Dude, that works for me, man. It honestly does. That works, dude. There we go. We just set up our own bow. Woo! So we are gonna put this bow in the bow press for the last time, and tie this arrow, just the string itself.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yep.
Okay. Cut it.
Now this is just me again. I like to leave a little bit, so don't cut it right against there. Cut it out here, and then burn it.
Okay.
Gives you, if you ever make an adjustment, you know, gives you some room to play with. Fire is away from your, that's good. Yep, there you go.
There you have it, guys. Subscribe to the video. Leave a comment.
Tell us all the things we did wrong or we could do better, because we're always learning and improving. So hopefully this will help you guys, help somebody with the basics.
Back to business. Stop talking to the kid like I'm acting different. Ain't nobody seen nothing. You can ask the witness. Rags to riches, young star asterisk.
Hey, back to business. Stop talking to the kid like I'm acting different. Ain't nobody seen nothing. You can ask the witness.